Hello, I am roaringbug, and welcome to my Sims 4 speed build. As you can see in that first image, that is the complete image of my build. This build is called Green Church, and it's completely base game. I hadn't done a lot of builds recently that use multiple packs, and I thought I'd try something base game and something for a community lot. So this church is based off a image I saw on Pinterest, and I think it sort of looks like it, save for maybe the middle part of the roof, but most of the roofing is more or less accurate to what the Pinterest picture was. And the tricky part is doing all of these extended arches on all four sides of this build. So right now I'm just doing the front facade of the church, and I'm creating these little side pieces on the side. And the one thing that I was particularly happy about that I did with this build is I used a base game arch, and as you saw earlier before, what I did is I put it in the basement level, and I sized it up, and I made it into like a feature wall piece in the front of the build. If you do gameplay, that arch, because I've done something it wasn't supposed to, just to be a decorative piece as an archway in this build. Yeah, you can see right now that I sized up that arch. It won't drop away with the walls, but the church is pretty big, so if you zoom in, you won't have any trouble with that arch getting in your way of seeing inside the house of the church. But if you're playing with half cutaway walls, but if you want it out of your sight, I think most of the walls, you could just do all walls gone. I'm not really sure, but I think it'll help. I don't know if it'll get rid of what I did with the arch though. So, moving on, I'm just, like I said, doing all of these roof pieces and trying to make the sides of the church look accurate to the picture I was basing it off of. Right about now, I don't know now, but later on I realized that pillar with the arches in it is kind of short, and I should really make it one more level higher. And I realized it wasn't symmetrical, so that's why I had to make it a little bit bigger. So, the news in The Sims is that I think now all the mods are going to be on one platform. So if you have The Sims on your computer, you could download it from one place, which is really convenient, especially sometimes mods no longer work because they're not updated, or maybe if you're new to the game, you don't really know where to find them. When I look for mods, I usually try to see if someone made a YouTube video for something that I'm interested in. I don't really have too many mods. I just have a few. I have MC Command, which lets you do more game cheats, and I use, I use Wonderful Winds, just so that the characters have more, the Sims have more personality. And I think that's it. I think I have a couple of mods from Little Miss Sam, and she makes small mods that are really useful. You can have a store at your house instead of buying a retail lot, and I think I also downloaded like live-in service, so you can have a maid live in your home, or a babysitter live, like a caretaker, like a nanny, live in your house. I'm trying to think what other gameplay mods. There was a mod by Spinning Plum Bob for werewolves before the official werewolf pack came out, which I recommend if you like your werewolves to look scary and not cartoony like in The Sims. But I will warn you that it's hard to distinguish werewolves after a while, because you can't modify their look, you can just modify their coloring. But I like them because they're scary werewolves. And, you know, they don't pee everywhere, but they can, like, eat farm animals if you have the cottage living game pack. What other mods do I have? I have, like, CC, but the only CC that I use is from Felix, Andre, and Harry. And they're like 2 collaborators, and they make really nice stuff. Like, if you want to like make something look like a chateau, like, that is the modder to go to get custom content. So, you know, back to my build. I finished the exterior, and it's basically just white with a green roof, and that's why I called my build the Green Church. And now I'm moving on to the interior, and I'm just putting down some lighting. So this church is 3 floors, but I didn't do all 3 floors. I think I just furnished mainly the first floor, and I kept the second floor pretty bare. And instead of doing a 3rd floor, I just took down the flooring between the 2nd floor and the 3rd floor, so it just looks like a really tall ceiling, which I think would be pretty realistic in a church. So, you know, I think the only thing that's in the 2nd floor is just a computer, just for like gameplay purposes. So this is base game, so you don't need the Wedding Stories pack. I heard the Wedding Stories pack is still pretty glitchy. Like, I heard, like, you still can't really get your Sims to do all the activities in the Wedding Stories pack. But if you're a builder, I think that pack is pretty good for, like, build and buy items, but not so much for gameplay. So I do not have it. But, you know, you can still have weddings in The Sims. You can make a wedding venue, but there's no requirements, so you can build it any way you want. The only thing that will make this a church is just the wedding arch. I think that's all you really need. I just wanted it to look, you know, like a classic church for a wedding. And I raise this church on like one platform because I put that platform steps in the front, and I put down this wedding arch and just a couple of pews, and you know, I just kept it really simple. I am not really into clutter, so if you like adding decoration, you're more than welcome to download this church and to put all the clutter you want in it and decorate it any way you want. I just kept it very simple. Like I said, I'm not really into clutter, and The Sims created like 2 new clutter kits, but I am not interested in them, which is kind of ironic when I think back on it, because the kits that I do own are kind of flamboyant. Like, I have the Maximalist kit, and I have the like Oasis kit, but I like them because they're so niche in their like design style. Like, I like the Moroccan decor in the Oasis kit, and I like the Maximalist kit because, it's just really like flamboyant. And I did a build before this one for my own personal gameplay where I made like a flamboyant roaring 20s sim who had a pet panda, which, like, people who create CAS items, like, because I recently got like the pets game pack because The Sims is having like a sale since they made The Sims 4 free. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get the pet one. I didn't really want to get the pet one because you can't control pets in the game. I mean, like, they look cute, but that kind of gets old. I mean, of course they're adorable, but there really isn't that much gameplay with pets. I mean, you can train them and you can be a veterinarian. And I tried the veterinarian career, but that kind of got a little monotonous after a while. So, I don't know, I guess in my gameplay I like a little bit more, like, plausible spontaneity. That sounds kind of weird, but, I like a little bit, like, I guess if I had to compare it, it would probably be like, those choose your own adventure books where like you make a decision and it'll lead you down a different path depending on what you choose. I'd like a little bit of that in The Sims. Like, it doesn't have to, like, it could be like I can know what the adventures are, but I'd like a little bit of variety in the decisions my Sims make. I suppose, like, something that'll define them more, because the Sims, they just do what you tell them to do. So I heard someone say that you need an imagination to play The Sims, and I think that's really important. And most of the Simmers that I like to watch on YouTube usually make things or do gameplay because they do have a wild imagination, and I find it entertaining and funny. I guess speaking about my own gameplay, I am I've been playing a vampire family for like 5 generations now, and I'm on the 5th family member, and I plan to make him live in a castle and build a rocket ship, and I want him to dress like basically like a Game of Thrones character, like a knight, and he has a mohawk, and yeah, and that's sort of like what I want to do with my gameplay. And like the vampire heir, like the founder sim, she basically lived in a giant black pyramid in Oasis Springs and made her money just like doing paintings and basically causing havoc. And I don't know, like, I just generally like to do like supernatural gameplay with Oculus Sims, except aliens. I don't really like playing with the aliens though. So now, talking back about the build, it's more or less done, and if you have other packs, you could put stuff on the second floor. Like, there's enough space for you to put like a photography setup, so you could take pictures of your Sims when they get married, or if you want, you could put like a dance floor, or you could like fix up the kitchen more and maybe make a separate kitchen so you can, if you do have the wedding story pack, you can make a cake. You could probably add a dance floor if you want, or a DJ. I mean, like, there's enough room in this venue for you to add what you want. So I was really upset because those arches are not symmetrical in that back garden. And I was like, just like one tile off from being symmetrical. It's kind of sad. And I really wish that fountain was just a little bit smaller. But if I size it down, the animation for the water is gonna look all weird because it doesn't size down right. And, you know, I don't normally do like religious items in my gameplay, and I wasn't really too sure, but I was like, yeah, it's a church. It is what it is. I mean, if you don't like it, you can remove it. I mean, it's really up to you. But, you know, it's made for weddings. So that's what I made it for. And I just did a little bit of outdoor lighting, and as you could see, I just did very sparse landscaping. I didn't even add any flowers. I just kept it really simple. But I thought it looked pretty classy. I think it looks pretty nice. So yeah, I think the last thing, like I said, I put a computer on the second floor and a full 2 baths in case like something catastrophic happens to your sim when they come here for their wedding. So yeah, and like I said, there's plenty of space if you want to add like, I don't know, like a dance floor or a photo booth area. So now I'm onto screenshots. So if you like this build, it's on the gallery. My gallery ID is roaringbug. You can see it in my description. If you like this build, please like, subscribe, or leave me a comment. Thank you for watching.